This is Malaysia, a country of calm mornings and royal pride. But one morning, that calm was broken. News spread like wildfire across the nation. The Crown Prince of Johor, Abdul Jalil, son of Sultan Ibrahim Ismail, was gone. Just 25 years old, a prince of promise, a symbol of Malaysia's future, taken too soon. The story gripped the nation, not because of politics, not because of power, but because of pain. Abdul Jalil wasn't just another royal name in the history books. He was the young face of a changing Malaysia, born into privilege, yes, but raised with purpose. Those who knew him said he carried his title lightly. He was often seen among people, not above them. As Crown Prince of Johor, his path was already written in gold, but he didn't want to just sit in palaces or sign ceremonial papers. He wanted to serve. He believed that a prince should walk with his people, not just rule them. He spent his early years studying, learning about leadership, tradition, and the modern world that awaited him. What stood out most was his genuine curiosity. He wanted to understand how things worked, how businesses grew, how people struggled, and how Malaysia could move forward. By his mid-20s, he had become a familiar face in public life, attending local events, supporting charities, and encouraging education among the youth. To many Malaysians, he wasn't just Tunku Abdul Jalil. He was simply Jalil, the prince who smiled, listened, and cared. His humility won hearts. His kindness made headlines, and slowly a quiet belief grew. This young man could lead Johor into a new age. Royal life in Malaysia carries centuries of tradition, rituals, expectations, ceremonies. Every move is watched, every word recorded. Yet, Abdul Jalil was different. He respected those traditions, but didn't let them confine him. He was known for trying to modernize the way the monarchy connected with ordinary citizens. He once said, through his actions, that respect wasn't demanded by birthright, but earned through compassion. He pushed for initiatives that breached the gap between the royal family and the youth of Malaysia. He supported cultural events, volunteered in local projects, and made it a point to highlight the heritage of Johor in ways that felt relevant to younger generations. Even from a distance, you could sense his sincerity. His charm wasn't crafted, it was real. Then came the day no one expected. The royal palace released a statement that froze the nation. Abdul Jalil had passed away. No warning, no public illness, no signs, just gone. He was 25. The announcement sent shockwaves through Malaysia. People turned on the news, checked their phones, hoping it was some mistake. But it wasn't. The son of Sultan Ibrahim Ismail was gone. For many, disbelief turned to silence. For others, tears. Social media flooded with condolences. Streets around Johor were lined with mourners holding flowers, photographs, and prayers. The palace asked for privacy. Grief didn't listen to requests. The loss was too deep, too sudden, too real. What exactly happened to the prince? That question still hangs heavy. The royal family chose not to reveal the full details about his passing. The official statement described it as a great sorrow. Rumors spread, whispers about health problems, possible complications, a private illness that few knew about. But in truth, no one outside the palace knows for sure. Some reports mentioned that he had been unwell in the days leading up to his death. Others claimed he kept his struggles quiet, not wanting to worry anyone. Those close to him described him as private when it came to his personal matters, especially his health. Whatever the cause, the result was the same. Malaysia lost a prince who seemed invincible, whose youth promised decades of service, whose energy inspired an entire generation. The lack of clear answers only deepened the nation's heartbreak. It left Malaysians staring into the silence, wondering how someone so young, so full of life, could be gone in an instant. For Sultan Ibrahim Ismail, this was not the loss of a crown prince, it was the loss of a son. Behind the royal ceremonies and guarded words was a grieving father, trying to come to terms with something no parent should ever endure. In his public remarks, he called his son's death a sorrow shared by all Malaysians, a national tragedy that words could not describe. The people of Johor stood by their king. They understood his pain because it was their own. The palace gates became a sea of flowers and prayers. People from every background came, Muslims, Chinese, Indians, united in grief, united for the prince they admired. For a brief moment, politics, religion, and class faded away. All that remained was loss. Abdul Jalil was more than just the next in line to the throne. He represented what many believed the monarchy could become: modern, compassionate, and deeply connected to the people. His death left a gap that can't be measured in titles and ceremonies. It was the loss of a future that now will never be. He had plans, initiatives for education, support for environmental conservation, and programs aimed at improving healthcare access in rural Johor. His focus was always people first. Those who worked with him described him as someone who never just attended an event. He engaged, asked questions, offered ideas, and made things happen. All of that remains unfinished. The Johor royal family continues to carry his legacy, but even they acknowledge that the shadow of his absence will never fully fade. Even months after his passing, Malaysia didn't move on. It couldn't. His face still appeared on murals, his name whispered in prayers. Across schools and communities, moments of silence were held. Online, thousands shared memories, writing about the time they met him or saw him at an event and how kind he had been. The loss united people in a strange, silent way. He had become a national symbol of promise, someone who showed that power could come with humility, that royalty could mean service, not distance. That's why his death felt personal. In Malaysia's royal history, tragedies are rare, but when they come, they shake the very core of the nation. Abdul Jalil's passing did just that. It made people reflect on mortality, on leadership, on what it means to live a meaningful life. He had been born into privilege, yes, but he had used it for good. For young Malaysians especially, he became a reminder that influence is not about birthright, but about action. For the royal family, his loss was a wound that may never fully heal. And for Sultan Ibrahim Ismail, it was a reminder that even kings cannot shield their children from fate. Why do some lives burn so bright, only to fade so quickly? It's the question that haunts Malaysia to this day. Abdul Jalil's story is one of brilliance interrupted, of a life that promised greatness but ended before it began. He had all the symbols of power, but his greatest strength was his humanity. He gave people hope that monarchy could evolve with the times, that tradition and progress could walk hand in hand. And maybe that's why his death cut so deep. It wasn't just that he was royal, it was that he was real. His passing reminds everyone how fragile life truly is, no matter who you are. A prince can command armies, inspire millions, but not even he can bargain with fate. In Johor, there are still memorials, still flowers placed near the palace walls. His story continues to be told in classrooms, in family gatherings, in whispers that start with, "Do you remember Prince Jalil?" His legacy isn't just in the royal titles he held, but in the way he made people feel. He showed that leadership could be gentle, that kindness could be powerful, and that even those born to rule must learn to serve. Every act of compassion, every initiative he supported, now stands as a part of his unfinished work. The royal family has vowed to continue his causes, his commitment to charity, his care for youth, and his belief in a more united Malaysia. In that sense, he still leads, just differently now. Today, when Malaysians talk about Abdul Jalil, they don't just speak of a royal figure. They speak of a son, a brother, a friend, and a leader who never got his tomorrow. His death remains one of Malaysia's deepest heartbreaks, a reminder that life, no matter how golden it looks from the outside, can be unbearably fragile on the inside. And maybe that's why his story endures, because it isn't just about a prince who died young. It's about a country that learned to mourn together, about a father who lost his heir but found strength in his people, and about a young man whose short life left a mark too deep to fade. Abdul Jalil's story is one of light and loss, of promise and pain, and of a nation that continues to carry both in its heart. Even now, years later, the question lingers: what might Malaysia have become if its prince had lived? No one can answer that. But one thing is certain: the legacy of Abdul Jalil, the prince who lived with purpose and left too soon, will remain forever etched in the soul of Malaysia.